Stop and list. Stop, think of purpose, list ideas and sequence them. Content writing strategies. Stop and list TEKS. History Grade 4 TEKS. For this example, we're going to use the Social Studies Grade 4 TEKS, and here I'm going to be describing the impact of the Civil War and Reconstruction on Texas. So, instructions for the stop and list. The teacher should model stop and list with the students before asking the students to complete the strategy on their own. Once this strategy is modeled and correctly taught to the students can implement stop and list anytime they're writing. For this example, we have stop and think of a purpose. Ask the students what the purpose is of the assignment. For this example, the purpose is to inform by describing the impact of the Civil War. The second step would be list ideas. While modeling, I would ask students to raise their hand and list as many details they could think of that would inform and describe the impact of the Civil War. I have several points listed in my example here. So for example, if you completed this with your entire classroom, some students might think of the Civil War as the North and South disagreeing on slavery, slavery being abolished, Abraham Lincoln was elected as the first Republican president, slaves being freed and going up north. They might think of the slaves not having money, so they would borrow on credit and then have to stay another year because they didn't make enough money. Sharecropping, that gave slaves a share of the crops and workers to landowners without doing the work. So I listed several ideas here, and I would do this with the classroom, having, maybe where I would write it on the board, just completely out of order as the students are thinking up ideas. And we want to model with the students that as these ideas are coming, we just start jotting down as much information as we can that comes to mind. The next step would be to sequence them. Ask the students to sequence the details so that when they're writing this down in a paragraph format, it is cohesive. I did so by just writing like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Just placing these in order. Lastly, the students have all the information they need and they can combine this into a paragraph format. And if they feel there's more detail needed, they can research and fill in the gaps. So here I went ahead and combined all my listed ideas and I was able to form a paragraph. And I could easily now elaborate on these details to, make this a full page, and I could go into more detail, or if I didn't have enough information, I could research to find out a little bit more details on this. The strengths and benefits of Stop and List is it is designed to help learners identify the purpose of a writing assignment, set appropriate goals, list ideas for the assignment as they come to mind, and sequence the ideas before beginning composition. The Stop and List strategy was tested on a student with a learning disability, and it was found to be a successful strategy to increase their writing performance.